All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a seriously high-stakes international operation that literally just brought a major fugitive back to India. Look, this isn't your standard everyday arrest. Operations of this magnitude are incredibly rare. They require years of meticulous intelligence gathering, silent maneuvering, and perfectly timed execution. We're talking about the capture of Salim Dola. Now, that's a name that has been echoing through the classified corridors of global intelligence agencies for quite some time. It's a massive win for international security, and frankly, a devastating blow to organized crime syndicates.
So you might be wondering, how exactly do you catch a global fugitive? I mean, it sounds like the plot of a high-octane spy thriller, right? You've got a target who is acutely aware they're being hunted. They're hopping across international borders, using complex aliases, and they possess the kind of limitless financial resources required to just constantly slip through the cracks of the justice system. Bringing down a target like this demands an incredible amount of coordination, unwavering patience, and a relentless, high-stakes game of international cat and mouse just to finally get the cuffs on a global drug lord. Section 1. The Big Capture, from Istanbul to Delhi.
We're actually going to start our story right at the climax. Early this morning, a massive, clandestine intelligence operation wrapped up right on the tarmac at the Delhi Technical Airport. Here's how it went down. First, acting on highly sensitive, actionable intel, Salim Dola was apprehended by the Istanbul police in Turkey. Second, and this is wild, the absolute moment that capture was confirmed, top Indian intelligence officials didn't even blink. They immediately boarded flights to Istanbul to secure the asset. And third, through this seamless, rapid-fire collaboration between international agencies, a direct deportation was executed. They loaded him onto a special, secure jet and flew him straight back to Delhi under heavy guard. Seriously, it's a masterclass in international agencies moving with absolute, uncompromising precision. Moving on to Section 2, Target Profile. Who exactly is Salim Dola? Let's hit rewind for a second and look at the actual identity of the man who sparked this massive, multinational operation. See, Salim Dola isn't just some isolated smuggler operating on his own. He is a notoriously close associate of the global terrorist Dawood Ibrahim. This links him directly to D Company, essentially making him a crucial, load-bearing gear in a sprawling international crime machine. For those of you who might be unfamiliar, D Company operates less like a street gang and a lot more like a highly structured, multinational corporation heavily involved in organized crime and terror. And within that network, Dola's specific operational expertise made him a major, high-level player, orchestrating the incredibly lucrative synthetic drug trade. Because of these deep criminal ties, he maintained a heavily wanted status across multiple jurisdictions. The Narcotics Control Bureau had actually successfully secured an Interpol Red Corner notice against him. Now, a Red Corner notice isn't just your standard warrant. It essentially paints a giant target on a fugitive's back worldwide. It alerts law enforcement in 196 member countries to locate and provisionally arrest the person. His ability to evade capture for so long, despite having literally the entire globe looking for him, makes his eventual arrest even more staggering. And simultaneously, he's been actively hunted by the Mumbai police, with multiple agencies basically just waiting for the perfect window to finally bring him in. That brings us to Section 3, the global manhunt, a true cat and mouse game. Now that we know exactly who he is, let's trace the geographical journey of a fugitive constantly on the run. This really shows you how someone manages to evade heavily monitored borders. So, he originally ran his drug operations right out of Mumbai. But when local authorities started tightening the net, he fled to Dubai. While hiding out there, he managed to acquire a UAE passport, which instantly granted him a powerful new layer of international mobility. The Dubai police actually did manage to arrest him at one point, but here is the audacious part. The moment he was granted bail, he ruthlessly exploited that legal loophole. He immediately skipped town and shifted his entire base of operations to Istanbul. It was from there, in Turkey, that he rebuilt his massive synthetic drug empire, completely convinced he was finally out of reach. Section 4. The narco-terror link. So, we've covered the who and the where of this story, but the why, the actual reason this specific individual required such an intense, resource-heavy international manhunt, comes down to one absolutely critical concept: narco-terrorism. It is vital to understand that his synthetic drug operations in Istanbul were not just about lining his own pockets. The massive amounts of illicit drug money he was generating were being directly funneled back into the D Company syndicate. That money served as a dedicated financial pipeline to actively fund global terror operations. By capturing Salim Dola, intelligence agencies aren't just taking narcotics off the streets. They are surgically cutting off a critical funding artery that literally keeps a global terror network alive. Which leads us to Section 5. What happens next?
Bringing our timeline all the way back to the present moment, the clock started ticking the very second that special jet touched down in Delhi. Highly classified interrogations are currently underway by top intelligence agencies as we speak. You see, in these initial hours, the immediate goal isn't formal prosecution. Not yet. The priority is to extract urgent, actionable intelligence about D Company's current operations, their hidden financial routes, and their imminent plans. They need to pull this information right now, before the broader criminal network even has a chance to realize he's gone and adapt to his capture. Following this crucial, high-stakes intelligence gathering phase, a complex legal progression begins, and actually, a bit of a bureaucratic tug-of-war is already unfolding between two major agencies, the Narcotics Control Bureau and the Mumbai Police. Both of these entities have deep, long-standing criminal cases built against him, spanning years of investigative work. Both are currently waiting in line, eager to take official custody of Salim Dalla so they can finally begin the formal prosecution process and have him answer for his crimes on Indian soil. We know that Salim Dalla was a critical load-bearing gear in D Company's machine, responsible for funneling massive amounts of synthetic drug money directly into terror operations. So, what is the future of D Company, now that a major financial artery has been completely severed? How exactly does a global terror network react when one of its primary, international funding pipelines is violently shut down overnight? It's a massive seismic shift in the landscape of global security, and the ripple effects of this morning's special flight to Delhi, well, they're really only just beginning.